Hello, everyone. I hope that you guys had a wonderful weekend and a wonderful trading week thus far, right? Today there wasn't much to do, but there was scalps. But as you guys know, right, the majority of what we're trying to accomplish here is, you know, learning how to establish the weekly range, right? I believe that that is very important. And before going into the extremely, lower time frame models, which even if you take what's been taught here and apply that to lower time frame models, it will still work because yes, it's all fractal, and we know that price is fractal. There's been a notion, something going around on Twitter. Well, it's mainly has been ICT, and before saying anything, I have respect of a high caliber for Michael, right? But the thing that I do not like is the fact that he, tries to paint it as that nothing other than what he talks about works. He's trying to now, distract a majority of people with this new quote unquote P theory. And we all know that the main component for the reversal of price, and of course, this has never been talked about publicly. So we are the only one that, entertain this idea. The main component which causes price to turn around, which means that no P theory will work unless a buy model or a sell model is being delivered, right? And the days on which that happen, right, they can easily be spotted by just looking at the economic calendar, right? It should not be hard. It should not be ambiguous. You should know what you're looking for, right? And you should know what you're looking for and understand that it can still fail, right? You need something that works, and you need something that repeats itself over and over and over on specific days during specific time windows after a cracking correlation, right? Today we had news in the morning session. Then we had news. Now we have news tomorrow, right? Which is FOMC, right? So we can expect an immense amount of volatility tomorrow. Which direction will FOMC go in? It will follow, and this is only if it's there in the charts, as with it's the same with CPI and NFP, right? Price will follow the direction of the sequential SMT, and that's the main thing to understand, right? Okay, does it always work? And we're going to go into the ones that almost never fail, right? There are certain cycles that are just most times are not set in stone, which are the weekly cycle and the monthly cycle, right? What do you use the weekly cycle for? Just to, see if your heads are where they should be. We use the weekly cycle for, intra-week trading and to navigate the daily cycles. The monthly cycle is used for mainly swing trading. So you can just use the sequential SMT on the monthly cycle, if you're a person that's busy with life. You can't be sitting around the charts just staring at 15-second time frame, the 1 minute time frame, because you're busy, you have a family, and you have things that you need to do. Or maybe trading isn't even your main thing. You have other businesses, but you just like it for some reason, which is the case with some of you. right? Thursday, we have high impact news events on within the New York session, and Friday, there is nothing. Already, we can see that the higher low of the week will either form when? Wednesday or Thursday. Could be an instance, whereas within certain asset classes, you have, the SMT leg being formed on either of these days, right? What do I mean by that? I mean that either of these days would be one of the two legs, right? Here, right? First of all, you can see that we are getting dramatically close, like it's 3 days away. So whenever we have price, this close to the contract expiry dates for, the particular futures contract that you're looking at, or the particular asset that you're looking at, right? Price will, tend to be deliver less high probability moves, right? Last week we had, we were on the right side of the marketplace, and even though that occurred, right, price was not as clean as I would like it to be, but it still delivered exactly as we wanted it to, right? Even when we were on this set time frame here, looking at the E-mini, the Nasdaq, and the Dow, we annotated these highs right here. And what did we say? This was our main draw on liquidity, right? Before the fact. And still, you can say that we could expect price to gravitate to these highs right here. And if we have that happen and this high be left in place, you already know what that is, right? But due to the fact that we're this close to the contract expiry, which means that it's this week, right? And it's the same exact week when we have FOMC. So, anyways, I was trying for what I was talking about. So, yes, last week was perfect, right? We had the Dow gravitate to the highs that we expected it to gravitate to, right? We had basically every asset just doing what we expected it to do. After, right, religiously, as it always does, following our price action models. Here, you can see that these highs right here, right, we had this wick above these highs. I do not see this as a run on liquidity whenever we just have a wick like this, especially whenever we have price fall back to the equilibrium of the weekly range so far. Okay, just to give you a visual depiction, the weekly range so far is categorized by Tuesday, which is today being the high, Monday being the low, and here we are at the equilibrium of that. Now, these 2 days, right, is undergoing consolidation. So, yes, there are times when you will have Monday and Tuesday just be whatever you see it as, just be consolidating, right? And then you have the other 2 days being the manipulation leg, right? And there are times when the distribution leg and the manipulation leg are the same, whereas you will have half of that specific quarter, right, being manipulation and the other half distributed in the opposite direction. Usually when that happens, just like that, it happens quickly. Here, right, you can see that closures or higher than this closure right here. So still, I see these as equal highs. I do not see this as a significant run on liquidity at all, right? Basically, the same thing that's here is what I see here with my eyes. See this exact thing here. Here we have price, has been gravitated to the area where we wanted it to be drawn to. So here we have a high probability breaker, and we know what that is. What is that? That is the breaker. So this plus candle here, that was formed when? After you have sequential SMT. So the thing is, this is the main, as I've said before many times, and I did say as when we began this video, but I just have to say it again. This is the main thing. Without this, nothing else happens, right? It's always there, and it's very easy to see. You do not need a higher time frame, PDRA. You do not need anything else once this is there. Once this is there, right, especially with the closures, but there are times whenever, it doesn't close below, but it still delivers. But that is, that is lower probability than this, right? So here we had this fair value gap being filled, right? After you had this SMT. Here the highs blown through. Here, everything just blown through. Here, everything blown through. Right there, many of you which have sent me your trades, you're sending your trades in the group. And I just have to say this once more. Yes, I've seen one of you make an absurd amount of return, right? It's insane. You cannot, I need to be saying this again, you cannot be making 200% off of one trade, because that shows that you lack money management. It doesn't matter if you make money, it doesn't matter if you pass the challenge in one trade. That's not good. Why isn't that good? Is it possible? Yes, but in this case, it shouldn't be, because you're risking too much. You shouldn't be risking that much in the first place, right? It's not a sprint, it's a marathon. You need to be composed. If you risk too much, you end up getting emotional. Win or lose, you feel like you're the best to ever do it. But, the best to ever do this has nothing to do with technicals, right? That's the guy or woman that has their emotions under control, that has their risk management under control. So yes, you may be able to predict moves with an insane, probability. You may know what price is going to do more than 80% of the times now, because some of you can do that. I've seen you guys do it, but you still need to manage yourself. So here, consolidation so far this week. Here, same thing, consolidation so far this week, and the same thing is occurring here. Now, here's the thing which pulls the support from anything else that's out there. So how can I find a trade? Do you need a bias? No, you don't need a bias. Okay, I don't need a bias. So what do you do? What do I do? Exactly what I've been saying. If you're trading the weekly range, you wait for sequential SMT and a lower time frame position swing point. Or remember, SMT Phil, remember, SMT market structure shifts, right? That's something that no one else knows. They don't even understand what it is. They will see an SMT market structure shift and believe that it's sequence SMT when it's not. So what do you wait for? One of these highs or lows, this high or this low to get breached. And look, this is you approaching it as how it is, right? The main reason why we expected this move above here was why? We were in a higher time frame gap. Yes, here we were trading within a new week opening gap. So it's just natural that we would expect higher prices. But here, we don't have that here. So what do you wait for? Okay. First of all, you're not trying to be a prophet. You're trying to profit. I don't know. I thought that was a good one. My bad. It sounded better in my head. Right? So if it's bullish, sequential SMT, you go on the lower time frame and you look for a reason to be bullish. You look for price to shift structure then, because if it shifts structure without the tracking correlation that you're looking for, that means that what you're looking for isn't actually there. So again, right, you already know how I am with equal highs like this. We expect these highs to be rated, right? Someone's looking for a short right here, he's going to get stopped out. Same thing here. Here, you can see how we were reacting to the new week opening gaps, and this is something that I want to show you, right? It's very difficult at times to know when a new week opening gap is going to be reactive. But this is how you know. Whenever what? It's simple as this. After sequential SMT, right? When everything is placed, right, into the direction where it's supposed to go, right? So the sequential SMT occurred here. What happened afterwards? Price starts reacting or treating the new week opening gaps as what? As support. If this was a bearish sequential SMT, what would happen? Price would be treating them as resistance, right? So here you can see that, right? Price traded here into what? New week opening gap. Same thing here. And then we return back within the weekly range. The main thing that we need for price to move is what? Volatility. Where does volatility come from? Engineering liquidity. What is that? High impact news events. Here, could this be tradable? Yes, this was a trade. Every price swing is a trade. You could make 1 to 3 from here to here. You can make it from here to here. You can even make it from just here to here, even within just this candle, right? Given if you are a scalper, right? It's how you approach it. Here you can see that the US dollar index, right, it delivered in the direction of the sequential SMT, which we highlighted. Here as well, price has been going higher. Here as well, price has been going higher as well. This right here is low probability, right? But whenever you have low probability price action occurring within the FXD or the Forex chart, then you will have high probability, more than likely, be delivered here. And as you can see that we have textbook market conditions here. And already it's looking good due to the fact that we had the first quarter of this week consolidated, which is Q1. So pay attention to the direction where you have the news delivering price in relation to the true week open, right? So here we have the true week open. You can see the price basically return to the true week open. And even though we have subtle differences across these three assets, there's one thing that's the same. True week open here, price is hovering around that. True week open here, price is hovering around that. True week open here, the same thing, right? So this high and this low, this high and this low, this high and this low, they're important. Today, if you see sequential SMT between the lows, then expect price to be returning to this range. If you see it above the highs, then expect price to do the same. This is for some of you guys who you can make up your mind, right? This is for some of you guys who, you want to be insane. You just want to trade without, conforming to one direction. That's how you do it. Plus, adding the certain things that, we always talk about, such as the precision swing point and whatnot. Here, right, we have NVIDIA and Amazon, right? So the thing about stocks is that they do not have a mind of their own, right? They will follow what? The stock market, right? And this is why you shouldn't just be dependent on a certain stock for its price action. And this is why penny stocks and things such as that, those are basically the same thing as shitcoins and crypto, right? You need to be focused on, this is just me asking a question, which stocks should I focus on? The ones with high market caps, the top 10 at least. Because those top 10 stocks are controlled by whatever the S&P 500 and the NASDAQ is doing. That's how it is. It's all programmed. So today, I hope that you guys found this useful. Hopefully, after the weekend, we will be having this, after this weekend, we should be having Saturday streams coming back. So it's been hectic for the past month and a half or 2 months, right? A lot of things have been going on. And actually, right, I have a flight tomorrow, so probably leaving out around 4 a.m. Still haven't finished packing and stuff like that. So, yeah. And also, right, if you guys could pray for me, because I don't like flights. I hate flying. But yeah, it's just one of those things that you have to do, right? Anyways, with that being said, I hope that you guys found this useful. We will be in communication. The next time we go live will either be this Thursday or Friday in the morning, due to the circumstances of what's happening, regarding to life this week. And everything should be back 100% next week. Yes. And with that being said, good luck and good trading.